Hey everyone and welcome to another Warframe video. Yesterday we took a look at the Quanta mod World Frenzy. Well, we're back today courtesy of one of my community members, Bengosha, who has given me his Bursting Mass mod for the Mutalist Quanta to test and to make a video for you all. Mutalist Quanta is one of those weapons that honestly people forget exists more often than not. It's part of the Quanta family and is available super early at Mastery Rank 2. The mod, however, comes part of the Nightwave Battle Pass thing and requires you to get to the rank of 18 with Nolan to get your hands on it. Well, what does it do when you finally got it? Well, it's going to take 200% of the damage it passes through that secondary fire of the Mutalist Quanta, and then whether you either manually detonate the mass or the timer on it runs out, it's going to explode, dealing all of that damage within a 15-meter radius. The damage that will be dealt is going to be the damage type of whatever the secondary fire is. By default that is toxin, so you can change it into corrosive, viral or gas very easily through modding. It's another really simple mod, but there's a couple of things to take into account with it. Damage is taken at the point of entry into the mass, so stuff that buffs the damage beyond afterwards, like procs or sonar for example, they don't have any effect on it at all. This does mean, however, you can use stuff that buffs weapon damage before you fire it, stuff like Rhino's Roar, Chroma's damage buff, or Mirage's light buff. You can also pilot it around with Ivara and use other players firing into it to charge it. Other than that, it doesn't seem to be affected by too much more than the build for the weapon using mods to buff that secondary fire. So let's really quickly check out the build I've been using in the video. It's very much a standard straight up damage and status build. Serration, heavy caliber because it doesn't really affect the weapon. Split chamber for multi-shot. I've got a prime bane on here because it really helps with the explosion, especially if you're using gas like I am. It has a sort of double scaling effect caused by the prime bane. 3-second reload is really long, so I've got a prime fast hands in here. If you don't really need that, you could change it out for the crit damage mod, because firing through the bubble gives you an extra 25% crit chance. So that will bring you up to 27.25, which is actually pretty decent. And then we go with the Bursting Mass mod just for the explosion when you do the secondary fire. So what do I think of this mod? Well, honestly, it's terrible. I wanted to like this mod, I really did. I wanted something to make the Mutalist Quanta good, but, well, this ain't it. I sat in the simulacrum with Bengosha for quite a while testing stuff to try and see if we could make it good, and, well, yeah, you can. Combining gas procs with chroma buffs in Ivara's Navigator meant that I could one-shot groups of enemies with ease, and, well, you can pretty much see where this is going. It's just far too clunky and not worth stacking. Out of the simulacrum in your average mission, enemies die so quickly that most of the time stacking something like this just simply does not work. If you spent time pumping damage into this with whatever weapon you're using, then it explodes with nothing in range, and you have to wonder what the point is. You're so much better off just shooting the targets instead. The limited success I've had with it is that I've used it to fire sort of behind me, putting some shots into it, and then just leave it to kill a few enemies in case enemies come up behind me, or I'm just camping a hallway and just using it to, like, to kill things coming towards me in a really big funnel. You could probably use it with Nidus and his lava. You could probably use it with Mag's Polarized, and also with Vauban's 4. You could use it with all of those as well. But the thing is, unlike the Quanta mod, which is a lot of fun despite it not being amazing, this one isn't very effective whatsoever, honestly, and it doesn't have the fact that it's fun to fall back on. It's clunky, it's time consuming, and the damage, while it's not terrible, more often than not you're better applying that damage directly to enemies instead of the awkwardness of firing through to the bubble. Especially since right now, friendly and enemy melee attacks can knock your mass around, making it impossible to fire through and ruining your potentially carefully set up traps. The only potential use I found for this mod might be for a newer player that doesn't have all their damage mods yet. They can use it to potentially boost their damage against some of the tougher enemies they might run up against. It is a very niche thing, but at least it's definitely some use. So I hope you've enjoyed my look at the Bursting Mass mod for the Mutalist Quanta. Let me know if you've got it and what you feel of it, or if you can think of a potential use for it that I may have missed. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hit that like button if you like the video, sub for more content, and I shall see you in the next video.